And we begin this newscast with our breaking news. 6 people have died in Washington state from the coronavirus. We just learned about 4 new deaths in the last hour. You saw it right here on KIRO 7. 5 in King County, 1 out of Snohomish County. There are also new cases in both of those counties. There are now 18 confirmed. The outbreak was just declared an emergency situation. We know that it was an emergency in the state. That happened Saturday, but now an emergency situation in King County. Good afternoon to you. I'm Michelle Millman. A lot of moving pieces right now. You watched all of these details as they unfolded and were announced right here on KIRO 7 just moments ago. In the last 2 days, we have seen a surge in cases, and we've been covering all of it for you. Again, there is now a total of 18 confirmed cases right here in Western Washington. 14 of those in King County, 4 in Snohomish County. 5 of the King County cases were deadly. 1 in Snohomish County was deadly, but that also happened in King County at Evergreen Health Medical Center. 6 deaths total out of Evergreen Health Medical Center in Kirkland. Kirkland is the epicenter for most of these new cases. 6 of them were confirmed at a Life Care Center. KIRO 7's Ranji Sinha has been live in Kirkland for us throughout the morning hours. Ranji, you've seen safety measures people are taking out there.
Yeah, Michelle, we have seen several ambulances come and go from this facility. At least 2 people were transported. We're not sure if those people had the coronavirus, but we've seen medics and responders wearing gear to protect themselves. And as you said, health officials did say that there are 14 cases in King County, 5 deaths in King County that we know of. 4 of those deaths are linked to this facility.
As a neighbor, my concerns are that we are not taking enough precautions because this virus is highly contagious.
Marek Skocheles is Life Care of Kirkland's neighbor. The coronavirus is not what he wanted moving in next door. He said the facility near his home hasn't revealed anything to him about how bad the spread is of the virus.
And I do not expect it because, you know, everybody's in sort of the panic mode.
This morning, we watched as several ambulances pulled up to Life Care ready to transport people. At least 2 were taken away, and all personnel were wearing medical masks, and some were wearing protective gear over their clothing. It's not clear if those patients were transported because of the coronavirus, but Life Care Kirkland is the center of one of the larger infection clusters in our region and in the United States. People here were exposed, and the threat of further spread of the virus is very real.
I did not expect to get in, no.
Over the weekend, we spoke to a woman who was hoping to see her 89-year-old mother who is in rehab at the facility. She saw her as long as she wore protective gear and a mask.
Actually, I kind of was paying attention walking through, and I didn't hear any coughing. It's kind of quiet in there.
Now visits have been halted at this center. Marek Skocheles says his church group near Kirkland has already taken measures to prevent the spread after hearing about the situation here.
Not shaking hands, trying to, limit human-to-human contact, and also we should find better ways how we can connect the dots, what is happening.
Life Care has said that it's following infection protocols from the CDC and that visits and admissions have been halted as they try to deal with this outbreak. We're live in Kirkland. Ranji Sinha, KIRO 7 News.
All right, Ranji, we want to get right to KIRO 7's Graham Johnson live in Seattle. Graham, I heard a number of your questions there in that news conference. A lot of new information to absorb from that more than hour-long news conference.
That's right. As you saw here live on KIRO 7, Dow Constantine, the King County executive, was standing right here at this podium. And among the things he announced that he signed an emergency declaration yesterday regarding the coronavirus. He also said that the county is in the process of basically buying an old motel as a place that people who need to be held in isolation can be held. That deal, he said, is nearly done, but we do not yet know exactly where that motel is. We hope to find out soon. He also said that the county is purchasing 14 modular housing units, and they could house up to 100 people depending on their medical condition. And so that is something that we could see deployed in the coming weeks as well. I want to now bring you a little bit of what the executive had to say a short time ago.
The people of King County are united in their concern for those who are ill and for those who've lost a loved one. We have moved to a new stage in the fight to contain, mitigate, and manage this outbreak.
We want to be a committed member of our work team, and some people, it may be very difficult to take time away from work, but we need to do all we can to protect each other.
And that is a reminder to stay home if you are sick. We heard that again from health officials here today. They also told us that they are increasing the capacity now for testing for coronavirus because the state lab had been doing this testing and now is going to get some more partners. The University of Washington is also going to be doing this testing as well as some private labs. And that means that basically the capacity is going from a couple hundred a day at the state lab to up to 1,000 tests that can be done during a day, and the University of Washington is also going to be ramping up. So that is what we will be watching as officials now start to basically look to test more people than they were able to test before, because they really could only focus on those who were most sick. They're now looking at we are moving into a more community phase of this outbreak, and they are asking people to, of course, take precautions to basically not only wash your hands, but also to stay home when you're sick. Or also, we did have a lot of questions about schools, and right now public health officials here are not recommending that schools close, but it is something that they are going to keep a very close eye on, because remember, mostly people, we're reminded here today, these symptoms are fairly mild for most people unless they have underlying health conditions. So there is much to track throughout the day. We will continue to do so. Have the latest for you at 5 o'clock. Live for now, downtown, Graham Johnson, Cairo 7 News.
All right, Graham, and we do want to mention there's going to be a hotline set up because King County Public Health said their phones are ringing off the hook from schools and superintendents. In the last few hours, the Washington Department of Health Secretary asked state legislators for $100 million to respond to the coronavirus. We also learned that across the state, 231 people are under public health supervision. Those are people at risk of exposure to the virus. That includes close contacts of lab-confirmed cases and people who've returned from China in the last 14 days. In 3 hours, Governor Jay Inslee will talk more about the state's plan to stop the spread. Cairo 7 will be there and bring that to you live on air and on all of our online platforms. Right now, schools from the south to the North Sound are closed to students. You can see on this map, a lot of them are in Snohomish County. Most of them are taking steps to deep clean classrooms in other areas. Mariner High was one of those closed today. Last night, they learned a parent of a student there was diagnosed with coronavirus yesterday. The student is not showing symptoms but will be quarantined. The student also visited Discovery Elementary School last week. Tomorrow, all North Shore schools will close to provide training for staff members there in the North Shore School District. And concerns over the virus are making grocery stores look like a huge winter storm is coming. We went to several stores this weekend, including the Kirkland Costco. We found shopper after shopper loading up with food, paper towels, and cleaning supplies. People at a nearby Fred Meyer say it's starting to get a little ridiculous with how much is selling out.
You can't even find hand wipes anymore.
Yeah.
They're not in the stores. Yeah, it's a mess.
Amazon is also looking in reports of price gouging. Things like face masks and hand sanitizer are spiking in price on the site as supplies start to run out. Employees at Fred Meyer and Costco told us they're not sure when they'll restock. 13 states now have cases of coronavirus. The latest was announced in New Hampshire today. The Trump administration is working to calm fears now. President Trump and his coronavirus task force are meeting with drug company executives in an hour to get an update on developing a vaccine.
We've asked them to accelerate whatever they're doing in terms of a vaccine. Absolutely. Our country's doing very well. Our professionals are doing really an incredible job. We're also working with other countries to help them because they really have a fear of the unknown.
On Twitter this morning, the president wrote progress is being made. The State Department raised its travel advisory for 2 regions in northern Italy to level 4, its highest level, urging Americans not to travel there. Another concern is stopping the spread on public transit. In the last hour, we got this new video into Cairo 7 of King County Metro cleaning buses to help stop the spread of these germs. You can see they were really scrubbing things down there. And Sound Transit says it is mobilizing to protect passengers from coronavirus. That includes a focus on cleaning trains and facilities more thoroughly and frequently. Any vehicle involved in a biohazard situation will also be removed from service until it's disinfected. You can see an area that needs attention. You are encouraged to alert a transit employee. And the Port of Seattle also stepped up cleaning measures at the airport. They're increasing the use of disinfectant and are focused on cleaning what they call those high-touch areas. We're talking doors, railings, and escalators.